One of the most talked about possible bouts in boxing has been the prospect of Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford going off in 2025. Canelo recently raised rumors regarding this fight when he appeared at the London Ring Magazine Awards. Although there have not yet been any formal talks, Canelo's remarks suggested that a fight of this nature would materialize as both competitors and their teams assess the financial benefits of such a historic bout. For years, Mexican boxing legend Canelo has dominated the super middleweight, 168 pounds class. In order to win a title, he even moved up to light heavyweight, 175 pounds. Crawford, the four-weight world champion who has never lost, has mostly fought in the 147 to 154 pound weight class. He defeated Israel Madrimov at 154 pounds in his most recent bout, but he is accustomed to switching weight classes and has demonstrated a readiness to take on new challenges. A major barrier, though, is the extreme disparity in weight classes between these two fighters. Canelo's comfort zone is 168 pounds, whereas Crawford often weighs between 147 and 154 pounds. Despite this discrepancy, boxing fans are drawn to the prospect of Canelo taking on Crawford. Canelo, who is renowned for his unmatched skill and strong punches, would have to contend with Crawford, a smaller fighter who is frequently praised for his adaptability and boxing IQ. Crawford would face an enormous battle because of Canelo's great strength and experience in the ring, in addition to the weight disparity. In a recent interview, Canelo talked about the prospect of going up against Crawford, but he made it clear that the talks would have to be done correctly. Crawford and he know each other, he said, and he is interested in seeing what transpires. Although Canelo did not explicitly commit to the fight, his remarks implied that he was not completely ruling it out, which further increased conjecture among both fans and experts. Such a bout might be an alluring offer for both boxers because to the financial incentives and status it would bring. Seeing the potential for a huge international event, Saudi Arabian officials, especially the powerful Sheikh Alal, have made no secret of their ambition to organize this fight in 2025. Hosting a boxing battle between Canelo and Crawford would be a significant step toward improving Saudi Arabia's standing in the international sports arena, and the nation has been investing more in sports lately. However, Canelo has been reluctant to accept the conditions put out by the fight's promoters, particularly when it comes to purse discussions. Canelo undoubtedly takes the fight's financial aspect into account. Canelo's legacy as one of the finest of his generation gives him significant negotiating leverage, even in spite of Crawford's reputation and achievements. Given his reputation for making enormous sums of money during his career, any prospective bout with Crawford would have to account for the financial implications of such a well-publicized bout. But there are still a number of unanswered questions. The two combatants' different weight classes are one of the biggest challenges. Crawford, who has demonstrated his ability to compete at junior middleweight and welterweight, would need to put on a significant amount of muscle in order to take on Canelo at super middleweight. Despite Crawford's apparent technical skill in the ring, many experts doubt that he could compete against Canelo's bulk and strength, especially in a weight class where he would be clearly outmatched. For his part, Crawford has made no secret of his desire to take on Canelo. Crawford took to social media to show his interest in the bout following Canelo's convincing win over Edgar Berlanga, addressing the difficulties of bringing the fight to fruition. With Crawford boldly claiming that he would beat the brakes off Canelo in the ring, his words have stoked suspicion. Crawford is confident, but he will have a hard time persuading some of the top athletes that he can overcome Canelo's strength at 168 pounds. British promoter Eddie Hearn, who has previously worked with Canelo, voiced skepticism on the fight's chances of happening, because he wouldn't receive much credit for defeating a fighter who competes at a smaller weight. He implied that Canelo would not want to face Crawford. Hearn maintained that, especially considering Crawford's smaller frame, Canelo's size, strength, and experience would make him a dangerous opponent. The current heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury, also offered his thoughts on the possible bout, praising Crawford's extraordinary talent, but pointing out the difficulties he would encounter if he were to increase his weight to 168 pounds. Fury noted that Canelo would probably have the advantage at super middleweight, but Crawford might have a shot in lesser weight classes. This opinion is held by many other boxing experts, who think Crawford would find it difficult to compete with Canelo's stature and strength in the ring. Disagreements have arisen concerning whether Crawford can surmount this obstacle. Some people, including as former world champion Bob Santos, think that even if Crawford is a great fighter, Canelo's weight of 168 pounds would be too much for him to handle. However, given his success at lesser weight classes, Santos conceded that Crawford had earned the right to try such a challenge. Some others think that Crawford's skill set might be sufficient for him to succeed in spite of the criticism. Crawford is a fighter that performs well in the ring regardless of his weight class, according to former light heavyweight champion Andre Ward. Despite the weight difference, Ward believes that Crawford might have what it takes to overcome Canelo if he modifies his strategy and fights with accuracy. Tim Bradley and other boxers and analysts have voiced their belief that Crawford's versatility and ability to change tactics during a bout might upset Canelo. Bradley cited Crawford's prior performances, in which he outperformed rivals in spite of formidable obstacles. Other prominent figures in the sport have endorsed Crawford's view that he can overcome challenges, especially in a battle as challenging as this one. Additionally, some people believe that Crawford may not benefit from the fight. Hall of Fame boxer Bernard Hopkins has expressed worries about Crawford's potential bodily suffering from the bout, particularly if the financial benefits are insufficient to offset the risks. Hopkins questioned whether the possible financial gain would outweigh the possible harm Crawford may sustain from facing a fighter with Canelo's height and strength. Experienced boxing analyst Jim Lampley has expressed similar worries, citing Crawford's prior performance against Israel Madrimov as proof that he might not be ready to take on a fighter like Canelo at super middleweight. Lampley thinks Crawford might find it difficult to maneuver around the ring and survive Canelo's surefire power shots. However, fighters like Devin Haney and Shocker Stevenson have stated that they think Crawford can pull off an upset. Although he acknowledged the challenge of the match, Stevenson implied that Crawford was the one who could make it happen. Haney, one of the sport's most promising young fighters, too declared his belief in Crawford's skills, referring to him as the world's best boxer. One of the sport's most hotly contested issues is Crawford's possible bout with Canelo. Some contend that Crawford would not be able to handle Canelo's size, strength, and experience, while others argue that Crawford's technical skill and flexibility would enable him to prevail. Although there are still many logistical and financial obstacles in the way of making this battle a reality, both fans and experts are nevertheless excited about the possibility of such a fight. The rumors about the possible fight will only intensify as the boxing community waits to see if this ideal bout will actually happen. Will Crawford be able to defeat one of the best fighters of his generation despite his size disadvantage? Or will Canelo demonstrate that the smaller Crawford cannot handle his strength and expertise at 168 pounds? Time will tell, but one thing is for sure. The boxing world is tense due to the rumors of a possible Canelo versus Crawford battle.